Hi everyone, it's Dan Hodges from the John Appleseed Park District. So glad you could join me. I'm here today to check out a really cool flower. This one we wouldn't call a spring wildflower, but it nevertheless is one of my favorites. This is the flower of a pawpaw tree. Pawpaws are great. It's the largest native fruit to this part of the world, and if you've never tried them, obviously collection here at the Park District is prohibited, but there are places in Ohio where you can get pawpaws, and you should definitely try it out. I think they're fantastic. But these flowers will produce those fruits that many of us and wildlife certainly love so much. So here is the flower. It hangs kind of upside down and has these big purplish petals. On the inside it has sort of a ball full of stamens and then a central stigma. These are pollinated by sort of more atypical pollinators, not the bees and butterflies that we normally think of, but rather carrion beetles and or carrion flies and gnats. They have kind of a, I wouldn't say a rotten smell, but it's certainly like produce that's kind of left too long. A little bit of that kind of rotted, kind of soured smell. The leaves of the pawpaw tree are cool too. They kind of are pretty long. These are very young leaves. They'll get to twice this length pretty easily. And if you crush just a little bit and give it a smell, they smell a lot like green peppers, I think. And it's one of those things that I think it's cool to use more senses than just our sight in the woods. And this is one where you can do that. The flowers on this particular tree, there are several. And there's several from the tree behind it. And there's a couple on this tree over here. Hard to see. But these will produce these pretty large sized fruits with very large seeds. I think they taste like a cross between a mango and a banana. If you have the opportunity, you should definitely find a place where you can harvest these legally and definitely eat some. Although you got to be pretty quick, because a lot of our native wildlife appreciate the pawpaw as well. And they can be really hard to get your hands on because animals will eat them before you have the opportunity to get in there and try it. So when you see these purplish kind of flowers hanging downward facing on these trees, that's pawpaw. Lewis and Clark wrote in their journals of their expedition that the men ran out of food at one point and subsisted on pawpaws for a good period of time, and they would be happy to do so, I think because they're delicious. Of course, we're not the only ones who enjoy pawpaws. They're really hard to get your hands on, actually, because many types of wildlife gobble them up faster than we can find them. And not just the fruits too, but also the leaves. There are some animals that really appreciate the pawpaw tree. One, a specialist, is called the zebra swallowtail, a beautiful, beautiful butterfly that the caterpillar feeds exclusively on pawpaw leaves. That's one that I have had my eye out for quite a while. Every time I come to a park that I know has pawpaws in it, this park included, I try to keep my eye open for a zebra swallowtail. There you go, everybody. A little bit about my favorite fruit, the pawpaw. And when you're out and about, perhaps you'll see those hanging flowers. You'll know a little bit more about what it is and how it's a really cool part of our natural history here in Ohio. I'm standing here in McLean Teddy Bear Park, but we have pawpaw trees in several of our parks. Hopefully you get the chance to get out and see some of these flowers, maybe keep track of them over the summer and see some of the fruits as well. Appreciate you joining me, and don't forget to get outside.